Hello, kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our Tuesday weather update for September 6th. And we're watching a wintry change move up and across New Zealand, but high pressure is on the way from Australia. And as that high leaves Australia, another low is moving in across Aussie, followed by a second one, and that's going to drive in some decent rain. Let's take a look and see what's going on. We've got high pressure parked right in the middle here over Tasmania. That's seeing this southerly flow around New Zealand, and New Zealand does look like just a couple of rocks stuck in a stream breaking the current up, and that's really what's going on. Windiest weather out here around East Cape and down around Stewart Island. And then we've got this developing low pressure system which is going to deepen as it moves in towards Victoria over the coming days. So wind-wise, this was earlier on Tuesday morning, about the time we recorded this, and what it's showing you is those strong winds brushing East Cape. They'll gradually move out to sea over the next 12 to 24 hours, and those winds are gusting up 90 close to 100 kilometres per hour, and through Cook Strait, blowing through at about gale force or just below it, around 50, 60 kilometres an hour for you there. Not that people live there, but if you're going on a boat. Okay, let's take a look at the frost coming through. We've got frosty weather tonight. Overnight tonight, this is when you wake up on Wednesday morning. The purple areas show a high risk for frost, and the blue areas show a borderline risk for frost. So you can see it's quite a frosty, cold night tonight, and if you don't have a frost, it might just be below zero with a bit of wind in some of these areas, still some snow flurries carrying on. Now, if you take a look at Thursday morning, so Wednesday night, Thursday morning, the frost retreat in almost every region except for Southland where they expand, and we'll explain that in a brief moment why it's not so frosty tonight but expands there for you on Thursday morning. And you can see these frost maps and more by going to weatherwatch.co.nz. Click on the temperature drop down. We've got some rain coming into Australia, so as that low crosses over the coming days, this is the 3-day rainfall from Wednesday. So this is, a few days out, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday pretty much, and it shows that rainfall accumulation here in the southeastern corner, Adelaide to just north of Melbourne, and then you come in through the mountains and ranges up past ACT into New South Wales, and you're talking about 35 to 40 millimetres coming through for you there over the coming days. So now you can see this forming. There it is on the Wednesday air pressure map. High pressure parked in the Tasman, so that moves away from Tasmania. It still encourages the southerly. Now, we mentioned before, there's not so much of a frosty night tonight around coastal parts of Southland because you've got showery southerlies coming through for you on Wednesday, and there will be a few other showers elsewhere, but it's pretty messy. It's large dry areas really across the country, but that's the reason why you're not so frosty there. And then northerlies with rain coming into Adelaide. By the time we get to Thursday, that's when those frosts do come into Southland, and the reason why, high pressure comes in and it cuts off that southerly flow. So we're going to be seeing frosty weather around the South Island, but a bit patchy in the north. The blue line here really indicates its air thickness. So what it shows you is the cold change has taken a bite out of the atmosphere. That is the best way to look at it. So when you see that blue line coming up, that's a sign that the cold air down here has really come up and taken a big chunk out of the atmosphere. So it lingers for a few days when it's like this. But there is a light easterly flow at the top of the country, and you can see this high pressure system blocks the rainmaker here in Australia. So by the time we get to Thursday, those rain clouds are really building up in the hills and ranges, and there's a colder southerly change coming in on the other side of it. In fact, let's just take a look at the wind map just briefly here. This is on Thursday at 3 p.m. and it shows you in the areas of orange and gold here, that's the area where there could be gale force winds just for a time, and a similar story with the northerlies here. Windiest weather actually coming in to Tasmania, but it's not too problematic. It's really just going to be a bit windy for most of you. Here we are for the very end of the week. So on Friday, the high is firmly in charge over New Zealand, but the top of the country, it's like there's a bit of a puncture, and so that's allowing a nor'easter and a few showers coming through. It's a bit messy, so lock in your hyperlocal forecast at ruralweather.co.nz or weatherwatch.co.nz. That will show you your rainfall totals coming through. And you can see this rainmaker finally pushing out to sea, clearing through Sydney, still raining in Brisbane for a time. And then behind it, the southerlies coming in to Adelaide there. So this weekend, those southerlies come through into Melbourne and then later on into Tasmania and also further up into New South Wales and Canberra. You all get that temperature drop with the southerly. Now on the New Zealand side, the high is in control bringing down a mild nor'easter. It'll be warmer than it's been, put it that way, but we're seeing showers around the place. Again, quite messy like we saw on Friday. And then we go into Sunday, our final map here, and you can see the high moving out past the Chatham Islands. So now we've got a proper northerly flow coming down that flushes away the cold air. So by Sunday, much warmer around the New Zealand area, and you'll be transitioning from northerlies that are blowing through there to the westerly change coming through. But 1 week from now, New Zealand, next Tuesday, here's your next southerly coming in. So it comes into Tasmania on Sunday, but it reaches New Zealand by about Tuesday next week with, again, another big temperature drop. Typical spring ups and downs. That's all from me. Before I go, just a reminder, we've got all the weather headlines, which we put up every day of the week at weatherwatch.co.nz and also over at ruralweather.co.nz. We'll see you again tomorrow, Wednesday, with our next update.